Refugees fleeing the unrest in Iraq received a pretty poor welcome in Finland just a few days ago. Let's take a look at this picture. It's going to give you a general idea of the sort of orientation of the event, graphic 12. Yeah, that's somebody dressed up like a member of the Ku Klux Klan in Finland. State media reported that dozens of Finnish nationalists greeted the Iraqi contingent by hurling rocks and setting off fireworks, which actually that sounds like, hey, welcome, we're throwing a party. One man was even dressed like a Ku Klux Klan member. The incident took place in Lahti, a town in southern Finland. Meanwhile, a gas bomb was thrown at a reception center in Kouvola, which is also in southern Finland. Some video footage taken by a cell phone is available online of a bus of the refugees having rocks thrown at it, but it's very hard to tell what's going on, and so we chose not to show it. Now, this is going on in Finland, a country that we haven't yet talked about in regards to the crisis. We've talked about the border with Croatia, we talked about Poland, we talked about Germany, Greece and all that. And it is spreading in all of these places. Even if it's a small number, there are these right-wing nationalists, xenophobes who are just ready to attack these people who are just trying to get away from a situation that every single one of the people at that counter rally would have also been taking their country and their family and fleeing from.
You see these stories and you understand what happened in Europe in the 1930s. You know, I mean, obviously Germany started it and Germany exported it, but I mean, everywhere the Germans invaded, there were willing people eager to say, there they are, over there, there are the Jews, go get them. And it's happening again. And oddly enough, the country behaving by far the most openly and the most warmly toward these.
Being Germany, yeah.
It's Germany, by far.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't want to mischaracterize Finland or the Finnish people in terms of this. This was a few dozen right-wing nationalists. Now, Finland in general has said that they're going to take in something like 30,000 refugees this year. They took in 3,600 last year, so it's a significant rise.
And these were Iraqis, right?
These were Iraqis, yes, not Syrian refugees. Yeah.
I feel like we should take every Iraqi fleeing. Like that
I think that we owe them something.
We have an obligation to give them a nice house.
No, yeah, seriously, like carve out a chunk of like West Texas or something. They're not using a lot of that territory, and just give it to a couple 100,000 Iraqi refugees.
Take it from the Indians again.
Whatever they've got left.
It worked once.
Yeah.
Just tell them you'll give them something later. Make a deal.
Yeah.
And then when you rescind the deal, call them Indian givers.
Exactly, and have that stick for just a couple of 100 years. Yeah. But I want to talk about some of the numbers because we like to come back to this because we try to cover the situation in various countries, what's going on with the refugees, but when we're not covering it, it is still going on. And the situation is dire. More than 2,800 people have died in the Mediterranean Sea just this year while attempting to reach Europe. 2,800 people died. Gives you an idea of the number of people who are attempting to make this, needing to make this transition. As Ben said, Germany being incredibly open in terms of who they will take in and putting pressure on other countries to take in more refugees. They announced that it would take Germany announced that they themselves would take in 800,000 refugees this year, an incredible number.
Good for Germany.
Germany has also led the charge for Europe to take in more refugees and distribute them fairly throughout EU member nations. One of the sorts of things that perhaps the EU is set up to do. Not specifically this, but it certainly facilitates it. The U.S. receives the most refugees per annum in the world with 70,000. I think that's like the average that we take in. There are some countries that have taken in far more over the past year or two. Secretary of State John Kerry has said that number will increase to 100,000 by 2017. Yeah, I believe they already raised it by something like 15,000 just
Am I
this year.
crazy? Do we have some obligation to help every fleeing Iraqi? I feel like we do.
I don't.
I mean, do you have that same sense?
I don't see why they, like even the conservatives who would normally be 100% opposed to any sort of immigration, let alone that sort of immigration, we're saying the whole time we're going in to save these people, to help these people, to give them democracy so they can put the paint on their thumb. And then as soon as like a couple more years go by, fuck them, fuck their democracy, don't care, let them burn.
But what if I mean, I don't know, I'm asking a serious question. I feel like we have an obligation to help place every single Iraqi refugee.
I wouldn't limit it to the Iraqi refugees. I mean, we can have a serious debate about the amount of culpability that we have in Syria, certainly less than in Iraq. I think that's clear.
Right, but I hear you. Right, we may have culpability elsewhere, but there's no question of our culpability in Iraq. It's 100% our responsibility. We didn't literally create ISIS, and
we didn't try to.
We didn't try to, although just buffoonery led to it because it clearly this was a likely scenario. But again, just as far as, again, to take a conservative point of view, what does us owning up to our responsibility mean? Like, look, we upset the apple cart there in such a way that we put these people in harm's way. We have some obligation, you would think now, to do the right thing, to be, I'll put it in their terms, to be men about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be a man about it now, I would help every one of them, no matter what it costs. And I got it. It would cost a lot.
Yeah.
And you'd hope that, you know, they would start contributing and helping the economy and soon thereafter. But
And look,
in the short term, we are duty bound to help these people. I really feel that.
It would not only be an objective good, it would not only be us fulfilling the responsibility that anyone breaking a country should have, but having those people and having their contributions to our society could also serve as perhaps a bit of a reminder for people who, like, with a cavalier attitude, believe that, yeah, you just invade a couple of countries.
Yeah, it would be a nice little thing.
It takes a few weeks, it takes a few months. No, it takes decades sometimes.
It takes decades, and if we invade Iran, and in this app we should say to this, okay, great, we'll invade Iran. But if we create this kind of problem, and there's 3 or 4 million Iranian refugees, we have to take them all.
Yeah.
Like, that's the deal.
A neighborhood in Colorado Springs, neighborhood San Diego.
No,
so setting up people from Iran.
No, you guys are cheerleading for it. You get them in red states.
Yeah. Well, I was choosing at least the more conservative cities at the very least.
Yeah, swing in red states. Good
exactly.
News. You're going to get here's 800,000 new Iraqis in North Carolina. Yeah, that's going to swing.
No, we're just setting up the groundwork for Tehran, Alabama.
That's right.
Yeah, new Tehran maybe.